Have you thought about screaming at Norm? All you do is talk over me over and over again. Russian shills respect that. No, August actually gave me a suggestion. I think one thing I should do, and I've kind of done this in the past. I'm trying to think why I didn't do it this debate. I didn't do it with Candace either. Did I do it with Candace? When somebody, it's very quick and easy to pick out when people use a debate tactic. I just need to develop effective counters for them. And one is for Norm. Actually, here's one thing there was no excuse for. I should have told Norm, you need to pronounce my name correctly. Like, my name is Stephen Bunnell. Like, learn my name, okay? Google me. Like, you should be able to say and pronounce my name. If you can't, you're unqualified to have this conversation. Because if you study the history of Israel-Palestine, there are way harder names to say than mine. There's no reason why you can't pronounce my name. Or just call me Stephen. Or if you'd like, call me Destiny. Or you can call me the boogeyman that lives under your bed. Okay? Whatever you want to call me the same. There, I shouldn't have tolerated that disrespect. That's true. Or I should have been calling him different names the entire time, which would have been funny. I was trying really hard to let him go off, though. No. Hold on, let me think. Fuck, I have to think. No, I don't know. Actually, I think it's hard right now to imagine, like, did everything go as planned because of, like, the public response? But the public response is always going to be unhinged. Never mind. Actually, no. I'm second guessing myself too much. No, actually, I think my response was almost perfect. I think it was fine. I think if a normal, objective person watches this interview, Norm is supposed to be a respected historian. He is unhinged. He pretends to ignore my name a billion times. If you actually watch the whole debate, you do see that off-camera moment where he says my name exactly correctly. And he knows my name. And you see me emitting laugh about it. I think it was fine, actually. No, I don't think I needed to be more unhinged or anything. I think it was fine. What leftist cope was worse, Richard Wolff or Norm Finkelstein? Definitely the Norm. I think the Norm one is worse because Norm employed objectively almost every bad faith type of argument you could deploy in a debate. Out of context quotes, false appeals to authority, unwillingness to engage with an argument, non sequiturs, refuting some evidence with other evidence it doesn't actually refute as a non sequitur, screaming over somebody, calling people names. He employed almost every single debate bro tactic. And the fact that he was able to do all of that, and then at the end, people were like, God, that was such a good debate by Norm. I think that says something. I think it's important to demonstrate that. So I'm actually okay with that. I think it's good to see him do that and to see people support it. I think that's good. I think that's fine. What rhetoric could you improve on with Candace? I should have told her immediately, if you think I'm a contrarian, what do you think I'm a contrarian about? Don't you think that is kind of blackpilling, seeing so many people say you lost a debate? It feels like you were just speaking into the void with these people. Yeah, the problem is that when you speak, when you scream into the abyss screams back at you. You only see all of the people that are all poised in one way or another anyway, and you just have to fight the good fight, you know? Assuming that we're on the right path. I mean, yeah, I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. I feel like history is starting to vindicate me, though. I mean, like, I'm growing. A lot of people I argue with, their careers are no more because they fade out. A lot of the political ideologies have come and gone that have borne nothing. I feel like I'm getting a better orientation into, like, what makes sense too, right? Like, I didn't think the BLM stuff or the defund the police or any of that was going to go anywhere. It seemed stupid. It didn't seem, and it didn't, right? Yeah, I think we're fine. I think we're okay. Being called a contrarian is just like being called a racist. It's hard to defend. Racism stuff is easy. I'll just say I'm racist. I don't care. That shit irritates the fuck out. Or I would be irritated to try to defend it. I just claim I'm racist and then move on. It's dumb. Hey, so you want to say debates with Finkelstein? I just wanted to say, great job, man. You ran laps around those guys. His ad homs were pathetic. The 70-year-old expert and resorting to slurs. LeMayo, nice. The commies are seething because you're having a convo they dream of. Ventano has to talk about Ice Spice's artistry, but really wants to be taken seriously. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, for the contrarian stuff, for Candace, this is one thing I should have done. For the contrarian stuff, I just need to tell people, like, contrarian on what? What am I a contrarian on? Like what? What do you think I don't support? I should have forced Candace to answer that. Though to be fair, I think there were a few times in that conversation where I asked Candace the same question like 4 times. Like, I think, where One was her major. What was your major? What was your major? Wait, what was your I think I asked her that question 4 times before she finally answered. It was wild. You will never debate with an intellectual again. You expose yourself and your fans as a cult of anti-intellectualism. You are opposed to reading books, brother. You will be the blue-haired punching bag for fascists the rest of your lonely life. The projection. It's also funny, too, because, like, remember, at any point in time... Oh, this is another thing. It's funny because this is something that I learned back in... was it the D2SP forums? Or was it the StarCraft subreddit or Team Liquid? This is something I learned a long time ago in my gaming career. I think in 2012. Something that I enjoyed, I realized I enjoyed, is that when you walk into an arena and everybody is calling you names, calling you whatever the fuck, like all these random things, what it means is that you were right about everything. Because if I was wrong, if I got facts wrong, or if I was clearly incorrect on the history, on the names, on the places, on some normative statement, if I was clearly incorrect, people would be talking about that, right? It's that one lawyer quote. If you have the facts on your side, pound the facts. If you have the law on your side, pound the law. If you have neither, pound the table. Like I published, like none of my research is private. I literally do all of this on stream. So you've watched me learn basically every single thing, except for a few books I've read. You've watched me do every single thing on stream. Every single thing you've seen me do on stream. So the idea that like I'm only reading Wikipedia is just not true. Like it's obviously not true. You can literally go through my VODs. You can watch me reading the end of a book. You can watch me taking passages out of several books. You can watch me reading papers, UN things, reports, Amnesty International. This is all seeable. But then also, I also published like my full outline that I was intending to use for this debate. When you see me scrolling on my iPad, by the way, I'm just scrolling through this outline to see like. Because the funny thing is I probably use almost none of this because I like almost every single quote that I try to put here. The quotes are in orange, by the way. Almost every single quote I pull here, I try to pull out of a it's like not Wikipedia source because I know how much that triggers the of norm. Yeah, but like I have a whole ass outline for how I wanted to approach my argument. I think nobody has critiqued this. I don't think there were like any responses that were seriously challenging like any of the arguments or any of the points. It was just like, oh, I can see that you're biased in your research. Like it was, like, okay. The criticism is extra annoying because the people dishing it out only get their information from social media and other retards who haven't read anything. True, they get everything from TikTok. Any thoughts on your peers' appearances? The mainstream setting is performative on such a different way than typical online stuff. What is it like now? For peer stuff, I need to think of just like snappy, funny, witty retorts to everything instead of like treating it more conversationally. Yeah. Did Benny go through your notes? I'd be interested what he has to say. Yes, me and Benny, the day before the debate, we sat down and we talked for like, I think 4 hours. And I went through every single thing that I had here to make sure that he felt like I had a good understanding of something. Because the last thing I wanted, actually, you know what? I give Benny a lot of props for doing exactly what he needed to be supportive in that debate for me, to make sure that I wasn't like fighting with him. But actually, I'll take some credit for that too. I went through this entire outline and everything surrounding it and my understanding surrounding all these things because I didn't want to be in an area where I was saying something and then Benny was correcting me. Because if that would have happened a single time, it would have been completely over. If I would have started saying some like, oh yeah, like remember in the 70s when there were no wars and Israel was totally at peace, and Betty's like, well, hold on. Well, that wasn't true, Stephen. A single correction in that 5-hour debate, it would have been over for me. So yeah, I made sure before we spoke, I went through all of this. I went through my understanding of all of this. That's how I knew, for instance, that he was weaker on the international law part, is because when we got towards the end, I was like, if you read the ICJ stuff, do you do the international law stuff? He's like, I don't really know as much about the international law. I do the history. I was like, okay, I can do more here. Yeah. Yeah. If you're confident that the facts speak for themselves, why did you decide to go after Norm with the lawsuit memes today just to discredit him? One is because I'm interested. I don't understand how somebody can be that crazy, number one. Number two, the only thing Norm went after me on was personal shit. So if you get a lawsuit where you're actually an unhinged fucking crazy person, of course, I'm probably going to bring that up. Like, he called me a motormouth wiki warrior the entire debate. And every other person online, by the way, if you've got a Palestinian flag in your profile, you've probably jerked off to my ex-wife more than I have, because these people are obsessed. I have never seen people with so many saved pictures of white women dancing with black men than I've seen with the cuckolds with the Palestinian flags in their profiles. Holy shit. So, yeah, of course. And also, I'm gonna be honest, and maybe this is me coping, not like in an cope, but like I'm making an excuse for it. When I initially had this lawsuit thing emailed to me and I was reading it, I was kind of like, okay, it's kind of funny, but I don't think like leaking this would actually just make me seem kind of spiteful or whatever. But then when I read the counterclaim and I saw that Norm called, this is me as a father speaking, Norm called CPS and immigration just because he was mad at his neighbors. That's unhinged. That is insane. That is insane. You're going to call Child Protective Services and immigration to get your neighbors deported and to get their child taken away? That's wild. No. People want to call me a on Twitter. We can go over public court filings on him being unhinged.